this is your girl Wakeji Kamore, and welcome to Reflections by Wakeji Kamore. Today we are doing Genesis chapter 14. Let me tell you, Genesis chapter 14 has been one of those chapters that I've never actually read all of it. Like, I know part of it, but I don't know the beginning of what happened where. So anyway, let me try and break it down, because there's a lot of king of this place, king of that place, king of whatever, there's a lot of that. So there was a king called Kedor Laoma. Oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? Anyway, for the sake of this summary, let's call him King Kedor. He sounds like a Sudanese. King Kedor. So this guy had about 8 other kings serve him for 12 years. But in the 13th year, 5 kings rebelled, and 3 were left serving Kedor. In the 14th year, Kedor and the three kings that were still serving under him went after the 5 kings that rebelled and went after him, and of course their kingdoms. Those that had rebelled were the king of Soddom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim. Zeboim and Bela, there were 5. Soddom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Bela. Tuko pamoja. Kulikuwa na kings 8. They were serving under King Kedor, and then on the 12th year, 5 rebelled, 3 remained. The 5 that rebelled were king of Soddom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Bela. And then on the 14th year, Kedor decided, you guys, I'm coming after you, and I'm coming after your kingdom. So remember that Soddom is the place where Lot, Abram's nephew, had settled in the previous chapter. Which chapter was it? That's 11? Chapter 11. Or was it 12? It was... nimesahau. Funnily enough. No. It was actually chapter 13. Hii chapter yenye tumetoka ku discuss tu jana. Anyway, so Sodom was a place where Lot was living. So in the pursuit of these armies, Kedor and his armies took everything that the people of Sodom and Gomorrah owned, and Lot and everything that he owned were also captured. So we are together up to that point. Kedor and the other kings that remained to serve under him went after these other kings that had rebelled, and they captured everything that Sodom owned, and his women, its servants, and everything and that's also Lot. I don't know whether it was Lot, the women and the servants, even other people. I don't think Lot was just by himself and then women and servants, but also Lot and everything that he owned were captured. So Abram got wind of this story, and he gathered his 318 trained soldiers. Note that Abram had 318 trained soldiers. That guy was blessed. And he wasn't even at the top of his blessings. Like, he was just like at the beginning. I'll go to anza to story. Anyway, they went and surprise attacked Kedor and his army, and they brought back everything that the enemy had stolen from Sodom, as well as the women, the servants, and his nephew Lot, and everything that Lot owned. Emerging from this victory, followed by all the women, the servant, and everything that he had rescued from Kedor, Abraham was met by the king of Sodom and the king of Salem, whose name was Melchizedek. Can we just call him Melchi for this summary? And Melchi was also a high priest. Note that Abraham, when he was coming from his victory, was met by 2 kings, king of Sodom and king of Salem, whose name was Melchi, and Melchi was also a high priest. So let me just do like a quick breakdown. When Abraham went to fight Kedor, he rescued the people of Sodom and everything that had been captured from them. But on top of that, he also took some of the things that belonged to Kedor. So he rescued the people of Sodom, the things that that had been captured that belonged to them, but also took some things from King Kedor. So when he met these 2 kings, king of Sodom and king of Salem, who is Melchi, and Melchi is a high priest, he actually went and gave a 10th of everything that he had taken from Kedor as a gift to the high priest. He actually went and gave like a tithe to Melchi. That's Abram for you guys. Then the king of Soddom, because of how grateful he was that his people had been rescued, he said to Abram, give me my people who are captured, but you can keep everything else. But Abram refused that offer because he did not want the king of Sodom to ever say that he made Abram rich. Instead, he distributed what he had taken from Kedar to 3 men who had helped him in the battle. So let me tell you what my personal takeouts are from this chapter, from chapter 14, is that number 1 is that Abraham went and tithed. As in, this is the first time we're actually hearing about tithing. This is the first time that tithing is happening in the Bible. I know that Abel and Cain were sacrificing, but we weren't told whether they were sacrificing a tenth, but we just knew they were sacrificing. But at this point, Abraham tithed 10% of what he had taken from King Kedar to Melchi. And that's the first time we're seeing tithing happening. And then also is that Abram did not want God's glory to be taken away by someone else. He knew that his source was God, and he didn't want the king of Sodom to go saying, I'm the one who made Abram rich because I gave him all the things that had been captured from Sodom, and he also took things from Kedar, so that's how he became rich. Abram was like, no, I'm not going to have someone else take God's glory. And what are the things that, how can we apply this chapter in our lives? See, the thing is, Abram went to battle and ended up rescuing the people and all their wealth, including his nephew Lot and everything that Lot owned. But he tithed 10% of his loot. He tithed 10% of his loot, and then he gave the rest of his loot to the 3 men who helped him. He actually went home empty-handed. Of course, with a lot of blessings awaiting him, but at that point, he actually went home empty-handed. In the heart of every rich person that you know, is selfless giving. It doesn't matter if they're Christian or not. Giving attracts riches. That's just a spiritual law that works across board. I am challenging you, and also challenging myself, to give selflessly of our resources, our time, our energy in the spaces that God has given us. And I've started with resources. By resources, I mean money. I know that people, and I've been one of those people. I've been one of those people who say, me, I give my time. And me, I give my energy. But pesa, Misiko, let me tell you, I have been saved from that kind of thinking and kind of acting. I used to be the kind of people who I just give my time. I give my energy. I serve here. I do this and this, which is great. But I have started with resources. That we would be selfless givers of our money, our time and energy in every space that God has given us. And then we will see what happens. Let me tell you, there's great reward in selfless giving. Go have yourself a good day. See you tomorrow, let's meet tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thank you so much for listening. Ciao. Bye.